Yep, let's see. Offsets. I don't know. I guess I don't even have to split anything off. I can just use this function. eventually I want to add the thing that we do have, which is the macro name that is being defined. On the other hand, I think they call this Right, maybe I should turn it around. Make this word declaration. Unclear. Translation unit includes Translation unit ref, of course, because it's derived from it. This makes no sense. Oh, actually it does, sorry. Yeah. Hey, Koto. Welcome back. I was worried you would be mad at me for not greeting you because I wasn't watching the chat once or twice. So I completely missed your hello. That would be nothing personal. I'm just not looking at the chat sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it is distracting. Yeah, it's going slow as usual. Let's see, Clang front end. Compile. Yeah, well, of course it compiles. I have no idea what I was doing anymore. Okay, so now Clang frontend.h no longer includes TranslationUnit.h, which means that TranslationUnit.h can include Clang frontend.h, which what is it doing here? Right. And that means that I should be able to concentrating. I should be able to get rid of this inline thing now for a start. Let me try that first. So I don't want to include it here nor here. Instead, I just want to include the header file and then include the inline at the end of the header file for now, for example. So the header file itself is going to include this, and then this can be moved up to a reasonable position. Yeah, so this is now already included from this file. Well, that's the idea. And then here I'm going to include the inline. For now anyway. Well, actually it's included at the end. And then we can test that. The thing it can do, still just parsing basically. Still making interfaces between the llvm and the way I look at it. We also need input token. I hope not. Or this function might get more and more complex. I was especially interested in inlining this one, and that seems to work. Maybe this one cannot be inlined. I'll move it into the header anyway. Hey, God is talking to me. Hello. Input token. I had a revelation. Wait a minute. It looks like we can include it. No, can we not? Why is it like defined? Okay. Yep, I mean, okay, let's try that. So I'm gonna include that as well then. Include from them the input token.h. And it compiles. So that means that we can get rid of this file, as in .h. Actually, let's move it. So I'll just put the one that we copy from the first file. Don't do that, I get confused like hell. So this whole thing now can be moved into the header file. Just put it here. And then I suppose we can move this to the top. Yep. Now this one is calling that one. So it's kind of annoying that it prints this, followed by that one. I'm not already more or less printing that anyway. We are printing the token, for example. So I see the source location, and then we'll also get to see the offset, but yeah. Nah, yeah, I guess I should just do both. Okay, now can I remove the inline, right? So let's try that. Get remove the inline thingy. What did I change? Yeah, just remove it. And then check. Does not exist. make C tags. Oh, that gives me time to play this game quickly. No, it's already done. Damn it. I'm multitasking. Let's upgrade this thing to 1000. This one too. This one too. And then I still have enough money to, wow, upgrade this one to 1000. And that one too. And that one too. I'll go to max, whatever. I think that's about it. No, actually I still have more. Yeah. I'll look at it later. Yeah, let's see. Make. What did I do? Got rid of the inline file. I wanted to add another one actually. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what I really wanted. I'm doing too many things at the same time. Yeah, that sounds better than I can't remember what I was doing. I just, from now on I'll say I'm doing too many things at the same time. Sounds way better. I wanted to add another one here that takes the def thing, which is probably not highlighted. Yeah, this one. That's a source range. A Clang source range. So let's draw it like this. We have this. No, yes, well, yeah, sort of. What? Wait. Something like that. But now it takes a source range. It's not exactly like that. It's more that my subconscious tells me what to do. I'm just the guy who types on the keyboard. So it's not like I want that. It's more like I'm typing and then I have to type something else and then I have to make another change. And yeah, I do have to keep a stack. So push what he was doing now, insert this, push that too, work on this. And then when I reach a dead end and there is still a pop in my memory, then I can go back. Otherwise I have to start compiling to see all the errors and then remember it, hopefully. That is what usually happens these days. especially as soon as I look at the chat and say something, it's like my whole the whole stack that I push things on, empty, completely deleted every time. Kind of sucks. Yeah, okay, source range here. I'm not sure I should resist that. As long as eventually I finish them all. If I start something in the middle of, say I work on A, and in the middle of A I start B. That's actually, and then I forget that I was working on A, right? That is much less worse than that I work halfway A, see that I need B, and then say, let's first finish A, because that I finished A and I completely forgot about B. Now in the first case, it won't compile because A wasn't finished. In the second case, I just finished A, and there is no B and will never be a B, because I forgot about it. I think that's why I start in the middle of things, do something else. Oh, this must be done as well. And as soon as I break compilation, it's fine. Then it will all come together in the end. My trade secret. Okay, yeah, I see what was I doing here. I have a source range, and I need to change the source range into current offset and token length. That should not be hard. Now, if you had an AI, you could just ask. So you ask it just for fun. I bet it's going to produce a whole page of code. Let's produce a page of code. Create prompt. How can I convert a Clang source range with spelling locations to the file or offset and length? It's going to write a whole program around it. I was hoping for 2 lines of code. Yeah. Well, I think we found the 2 lines that I needed. It's also into SM. How did I call that thing? Oh, that's the source manager. Jesus. I need the other point. Sorry, let's write this. Div. Pretty sure I had another point where there are offsets. Yeah, begin offset, end offset. It's like exactly what I need. This is what we need. And the source manager, it's all there. We are inside the translation unit, so apparently I just can call source manager. Let's see. Source manager, however, is just returning source manager, so... Oh, wait a minute, that's not the file, no. Clang front-end source manager. Yeah, now I'm gonna call that. I don't like the extra redirection there. And then I can get the file offset simply from the locations. So we have a source range. Dot, and then simply get the first location from it. So is it? No, this is not it. This should be it. Get begin. There's also a bloody range, file name range. That's why I could copy that code. It's just both the range. So I already had it. Yeah, so it's basically this code. So now I can just do up and then the file name range, comma, this. And then all that is moved here. Okay, now hopefully it compiles, because I have the feeling I made all the changes. What's use of undeclared? That's undeclared, it's no problem, but you use it. That is the problem. There is no current location here. We have a source range, that's what we have. Print source range, right? Right, it's gonna work, right? Highlight, highlight, yes, we have it. You work hard, then we have it. Oh no. No matching member function for call to add input token. This is the one I expected to work. Candidate function, template not viable. No known conversion from clang gar source range. It was not a source range, it was a gar source range. Is there a difference? What is the difference? I think the difference is that a gar source range is a gar source range. And a source range is... good question. A source range is a trivial tuple of two source locations. With an get begin and then get end to unwrap them again, the pair, a pair of source locations. And a gar source range is actually a source range with the possibility that they point to stuff like not exactly the way you expect it. In the case it is a token range. So this is gonna work if it is actually a gar range. Then I can just call get begin and get end, which then calls that on range. So why not just get a range from this thing? Because it is private and we can't get it. Nope, you have to call these. Okay. Oh, yeah, there it is. Get as range. Just so completely overlooking it. Yeah. So that would more or less go wrong if it is a token range, because this represents a character granular source range. The underlying source range can either specify the starting, ending character of the range, and that's how I treat it. Or it can specify the start of the range and the start of the last token of the range. Start of the last token. So in that case, we don't have the length. That's horrible. I could assert that it is a gar range, and then call get as range, because I don't have any support for the token range gar source range anyway. Now, where was it complaining? preprocessor dot assert is range. What else can the file name range be? Of course that is an what the hell did I call it? Get S range. That's not type source because God forbid we type. Is God still here? Oh well. Anyway, yeah, we should not type 6 extra characters when we can avoid it, right? At least that's what the llvm devs think, apparently. Now I don't know any more variables. No, I don't know Python. Yep, there it is. So that is preprocessor events handler. Okay, what did I do? Oh, still that. Maybe I should have committed that already. So I removed TranslationUnit.inline. Added a new macro name thingy. I'm not sure that is being added though. Added somewhere here. It is added. No, it's commented out. Let's edit this point here. Yeah, that's what I was working on. Now I remember. So I had a def range here. And now we can just do def range. Okay, where's my macro defines thing here? Now calls. It doesn't really pop out to me. It sees that after this point we do get the macro definition. Yeah, so it sees it gets the beginning of the macro name, including the whole definition actually. It's a length of 34. That's not exactly what I thought it would be. I need this, the identifier. I think the length of 34 comes from this thing. Just the whole define. Yeah, definitely it is. I need just the identifier, I think, or not? Yeah, probably. I mean, my tokens are like atomic, the atoms, the smallest parts. I don't want to add the whole thing. We would want to add just this. So yeah, it's passing this, which is the source range. And that is actually not correct. I should have passed the location of the identifier apparently. No regrets. So this is not the macro name. Whoopsie. It's the complete definition. So if I have a single token, hopefully this is a token. Yeah, you can add it like that. This is how we add tokens. The token being the macro name token. So now it says new token to add is declare, just the name of the macro. And then it sees that we are skipping 35 characters, namely whitespace, a C++ comment, again whitespace, and the hash and the define and more whitespace. So now we can process this thing while looking for the hash. And that has to be done because we know that we have the macro name. Therefore, we know that we skipped the hash and the define. I think, yeah. I mean, it's like define, so. But I don't really know that here. I know that here. So I already need to detect the gap now. At the moment that we are here. Well, normally I let that be handled by add input token. Incredibly annoying. Okay, but. So instead of calling add input token, which is kind of dumb, we need to call something that understands that we are actually looking for a hash now, the hash location. So exactly like here, I have a hash location and I have an include token. I need to get these two for the define as well, which is, of course, it is absolutely ridiculous that these two are not being passed to this function. Seriously. And now we have to do all this work ourselves. So stupid. So yeah, but that then tells me what, maybe, I don't know actually, but yeah, do we want to make that a source location? No. Let's just make it an offset. So I have an unsigned int. And we call that a hash offset. And now we just have it. I don't know what goes on the dot, but when we get here, we have the hash offset. Unsigned int. And then we get include doc. Okay, so we're going to call that define token offset. I don't know if I'm going to need those. So then we can do this. Instead of passing a location, we pass the offset and the length, which is 1, because this is just a hash. And the type is directive hash. Yeah. And then we add again a location and the length of the define. I want to develop 6. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not sure about that one. It could be backslash-newlines in it. So we also need to get a length of this thing. So that would be the define token length. Somehow we need to get that. And that then would be a directive. Yeah, the type is the same, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should make it something else, right? Yeah. For now, I'll leave it a directive. Yeah. So now I have the same thing as here, which is what you want. But of course, we first need to, well, we need to find the hash now. So we're going to need a new function, which is basically the same as process gap. Process gap. In fact, it is process gap, where I pass a fixed string. I need the current offset. Current offset, nobody knows what current offset is. And then we pass a hash as the string. Yeah. So we need a length as well. Extremely unlikely, but it's all not supported. But well, the perfectionist in me demands that that there can be a backslash new lines in the middle of define. So I can remove them. My formatter is not going to crash. No, that's just going to remove them silently. I wouldn't know what else to do. As being a formatter, someone puts a backslash new line in the middle of a define. Yeah, it's no option. It's just always removing. You want backslash new line? Don't run my formatter. I can make it part of the license. Okay, I digress. Now we still have to make process gap to work. Actually, I need to get the current offset here. Process gap. Why is process gap getting the current offset? Oh, the offset is the thing that we run into, isn't it? So it's actually the end of that, the end of the search region. Yeah. We look from gap start till current offset. So it's the end. The offset of the last character, or rather than the character that we definitely cannot yeah, well, search beyond. But it's never. It's always going to be there. It's impossible that's not there. Otherwise, this would never be called. So it almost doesn't matter what I pass. Well, I can pass anything that is larger than what I'm going to pass. Let's pass the point at which we find the macro name. That would do just fine. Wait a minute. The silliness here. Get location. And process gap does not take a location. No, it takes offset. So we have to convert a location to an offset, which would be get file offset, I think, on the location. Okay, now we have to make the process gap work. So process gap now has a new thing here, and we have to return a standard pair unsigned int size type. Not one word. So strange. Is a runtime error? It is a runtime error, right? I mean, a runtime error is an error that indicates a bug in the program. It just should never happen, I think. It's kind of the same thing as an assert. Okay, we wrote a comment, not a code. So at the moment that we are looking for any, as in this one, any, we don't know, we find white space or comment start. White space, so it's basically white space, comment start, or fixed string. If we found white space, then we are consuming white space, right? And if we found the comment start, then the whole fixed string is not important anymore. An error is an error, so yeah, only when we are looking for any, whether it's either white space or comment start, so a slash, then let's make it easy. Yep, that means that we, apart from having an error, we can detect which of the three it is by looking at a single character. If it is a white space, then it is a white space, and if it is a slash, then it must be a comment start. And if it is anything else, then it must be a fixed. It must be well, not anything else. If it is anything else, then it must be the first character of the fixed string, or it is an error, of course. So at the moment that we are looking for any, we get here and we test if is white space, or if it is backslash-newline, then we treat that as a white space as well at this point. Then it is not a fixed string. Else it is not white space. If we were looking for white space, then add the white space. And then continue looking for something that is not white space. So in this case, it is either comment start or an error, but now it can also be fixed string. And this is the only point, I think. This is the only point. And since fixed string is not allowed to start with a slash, I'm just gonna do, well, for now, you know, we're gonna do else if C equals the first character of fixed string. But of course only if the fixed string is not 0. So fixed string, and C is the first character of the string. Then it is the fixed string. Otherwise it is an error. It can still be an error, of course. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to need a new looking for. Looking for is fixed string. And the token start is remembers the beginning, the first character. That might actually collide a little bit with my argument. Let's call it fixed string start. But yeah, now I need to check well, it's still an error is possible, right? So I need to compare if C is equal to the next character that we expect. So let's make an expected char. In this case it is a slash, but treat that specially, so I'm gonna make expected char. Expected char is fixed string, the next position of the fixed string. That would be, well, 1, but maybe the fixed string has a size that is smaller. Yeah, in that case we are not looking for the fixed string start. I could still set expected though. I need to get the length of the string. Let's make a string length size type fixed string length. So fixed string exists here, therefore we can define it. And of course it must be larger than 1, otherwise you already had undefined behavior here. Not even going to waste an assert on that. In a library I might, but this is just an application, so the author shouldn't be a complete idiot. That would be me. I'm not a complete idiot, I think. So I'm not going to look for empty strings. And then sneaky, I still use larger than 1 instead of equal to 1. So we don't completely miss the boat when it is equal to 0. And if it is not larger than 1, then that should be equal to 1. And then we have to do something like stop. We have to stop. Might as well return here, I think. Is there any need to break out of this? Not if you're looking for a fixed string, right? This is not going to be true. So we would even throw here. Well, I could set it back to any, but no, we're done. I'm gonna return. Okay. That would mean code duplication though, because I have to return here as well as later on for fixed strings that are larger than 1. Have a length larger than 1. So this must be the offset pointing to the first character of the fixed string, and that would be the current one. That is equal to 0. And C belongs to gap text I, so we can get that from I. But if I equals 0, then what is the offset? Well, it starts at last offset. So this would be, well, I could also use gap start, which is maybe easier to read than using last offset. And this really should be 1. Yeah, I mean, if it's not 1, then we already did undefined behavior. So I'm just going to use 1 here. And then forget about it. I'm just going to do this. I could do less than or equal 1, but I refuse to because it's undefined behavior anyway. Could add a comment. I refuse to add an assert because that takes 1 clock cycle, while it is absolutely ridiculous. But maybe someone who forgot to take their medicine is going to look at this code. And then get all paranoid. So yeah, I'll just add a comment here, like. No, yeah, we have to put that probably where the undefined behavior happens. That would be here. Okay, so if fixed string is a null, then this is never true, and this is the only new code that I added, so everything still works. Well, we never get here, because that's not never set. That only gets set if we get here. Now, if fixed string is non-null and it is only one character long, then this is going to be 1, and therefore we return already here. Returning the correct offset and the length of 1. If fixed string has more than one character, then this is not true. And now we're looking for the fixed string. No, we're not looking for fixed string start. More fixed string. And the next expected character then is the next character in the fixed string. And then we get here. And now, short of \newlines, it must be the expected character. So if yeah, do it the same way as here. So if it is expected, then blah blah, else looking for is error. But yeah, if it is expected, then we're still looking for a fixed string, so it could just continue. But there is something that we have to change here, namely the length has been increased by 1, the length that we must report. Or I can just return this. And then increment that every time we increment it by 2, I guess, every time we find the \newline. So then I don't even have to do anything here then. Does this compile? Oh, expected must be changed. Okay, so expected becomes... Yeah, that means that you have to keep track of where we were. Well, that doesn't matter actually. Okay, I'm gonna use J here. Pre. That means that J must have been set to 1 here. That means we need to have a J. Let's turn this around. I don't know, which is more logical? Either way. Yeah, so expected is the second character here. And then if you find the second character, then expected becomes, well, the next character, and so on. And that goes on until, yeah, until we found everything. The termination starts here. If J I don't need to set expected in that case anymore, just like we don't set it if we return here. So let's do that here. If plus plus j becomes equal to the fixed string length, then we cannot do this because that would be determining 0. So then I'm already too far. You could do plus plus j, it could do j plus plus, but I so hate post increment. Yeah, just put it here. So if j, no, wait, if j equals, if it is the last character, if j, no, I'm going to increment it. Okay, let's do this then. Increment it, that's what I'm going to use. And if that is the last character of the string, then we're done. I don't even have to set expected anymore. I can just return. So in this case, what do we return? Well, we return the gap start plus I, which is then still pointing to this large last character, C. And the length is, yeah, now I have to keep track of the length. Well, that would be just the difference between the token start and the current offset. So that would be this minus token start. I think plus or minus 1. Okay, that's bullshit. It's exactly the other way around, of course. Token start is what we have to start return here. And then I need to know how much larger I has become since we set it. And that would be this. But the current I also counts. So I think I need a plus 1 here. Okay, yeah. Throw alert tags, what? Well, yeah, super sophisticated. It should already work as long as I don't put a \newline in the middle of it. So maybe I should test it now first. So the source manager thing. Source manager location. Where do I get the source manager? Yeah, the only thing I have is the only thing we have is a translation unit reference. Dus undeclared identifier process gap. Oh. So translation unit. Yeah, I made it a private thing. I guess I'll have to make it public then. Or I can add a friend. Let's add this thing as a friend. TranslationUnit. still, well, you have to put translation unit in front of it. Oh, it's called twice. Got a really good friends. Blum, 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 blum. Crash, an early crash. Illegal instruction. Okay, who knows what this is? I'll give you 5 minutes. I guess you either know it or you don't. Illegal instruction in 2025 means you did not call the return in a function. So you have a function that should return something, but you did not call return. Then you get an illegal instruction. It's stupid but true. And that then makes us immediately realize that we forgot to return at the end of our new function, which is now suddenly returning something, which was previously a void. Now, I did forget the name, however. Okay, I'm refusing this memory, it's too bad. I'm going to sit here and think until I remember the name of this function. Yeah, I know it. My god. Process gap. It is defined here, and it's now returning a standard pair. So if fixed string is null, then we still have to return something. But usually we got till the end. I don't think we have a return in the middle. Well, we have, but not an empty return. Just those two new returns. So here at the bottom you have to return something. Your default constructed pair, yeah, well, why not? The horror of it all. Just gonna be 0, 0, right? No, let's see. Okay, so it does call process gap with this, and it would be nice if it would print that it is calling that, so we could see that it is looking for the hash. And it does find the hash, so it stops there. But then we don't do anything with it. Let's begin with printing that we enter this function. I introduced print pointer for the first time in the Linux viewer. I'm not sure if I ported it to utils or something. A totally utils print pointer. Yeah, I have to probably include it. Awesomeness. You have it. Does this allow me to call it from... Probably have to do utils print pointer. I'm gonna try without it. But it is in namespace utils. I'll just first try that. Nope, don't say utils in front of it. I could drag it into my debug namespace. Debug is automatically included in the dout entering, I think. Or no, maybe I'm now confused with wayarg. Wayarg, I did that. I'm not too sure about this one. I can't even jump there. No, probably not. Okay, I'll just print it. I'll just type utils print pointer and then I would like to print returned value on the same line. But we get other output like here, so that would interrupt it again. And I don't want it to be interrupted when there is nothing to print. So I only want to have this continued if fixed string is non-zero. And I'm not sure if there is a conditional. Probably. So normally we do say continued control flag. And then it would not print a new line, and then if you do print to finish, then you can't finish it. But I only wanted to want to make it continued if fixed string is non-zero. So I'm gonna hope that there is a conditional continued, which then takes a boolean. Let's just try if that compiles, because I really have no idea. Or maybe the conditional is on the other end. This does not exist. Let me try to find it here. Conditional error. So it is up front. I'm afraid that maybe it's only... Well, it is also a control flag, so why would it not exist for the other one? I'm going to add it. Yeah. I'm only seeing the error. Where's the thing defined? Oh yeah, conditional, all the shit, but no continued. Well, isn't it like missing then? When is when correct English? I don't think so. Must be if. If the condition is true. Bloop. My younger self didn't know the grammar that good. That well, I mean. Depending on who you ask. Control. Hello, insane. Football. You want something that you can understand. You mean a tutorial? Might as well add everything while I'm at it. Oh wait, I forgot to give it a proper name. Conditional continued. You have more control flags. Like way more. Oh no. Too many. Okay. I'm not sure anymore if I want to add it. I mean, if I add this, I really have to add all the others as well. Right. So I have a new line, no prefix and no label. What are those? New line, no prefix, no label. No. And then the rest. Okay. Now where's the continued then? Oh, all the way down here. That's a control. That's everything is a control flag, of course. It's a bit mask. Conditionally fatal. That's interesting. The very idea. Yeah, I see that this has condition. I might as well turn this into condition. And then put these things in the proper order. Well, the way that they were defined before, above. I'm thinking about how to do this automatically, including the comments. Just do this up. Yep, I think we can do that. Yes, yes. Okay, let's just remove everything here. and then try to do this. Substitute something followed by the keyword it through z underscore blub followed by anything, and that must be replaced with returns. Oh, wait a minute. All label returns \1 if a cond is true dot return, and then inline control flag. I can't type. Control flag type. Condition. Oops. 1. We're here. Condition. Blah, blah, blah. Blop. Okay. Whew. No typos. That is the advantage for doing something automated. Yeah, unfortunately, I know I have to like release this code, publish it, before I can test it. Well, unless I'm not lazy, but I'm lazy, so yeah. Git diff, git commit without trying to compile anything. Maybe you should try to compile it. Oh, nah. Just looks like it works. Why would this not work? Typos, that was down, moved down, and what is the difference here? Oh, this is, yeah, if this line is exactly the same as that line. Did it really have to do that? Delete it? No, it's not true. The when is also changed. Okay, I'm getting it. Not a typo thingy. Okay, mine is im. I don't know what the CI is doing, or the NSA I mean, but they should not compile this slow. Just saying. Hint. Hint. Okay, thank you very much for releasing my PC again. Yeah, and then what? Oh, wait a minute. We saw that before. Yeah. Interesting. I might as well fix it. So this name is defined only when debug mode is on, and the debug mode is off if I pull master from a updated libcwd, as we saw before. So that means that this name here, where do I find my name? The name here, see, that is just does not exist. And the print, translation unit print. So that is totally necessary. Yeah, nothing to do with debug. Okay, so I know you have to run configure again anyway, and then we can compile it. Everything is compiled because the debug headers are different, at least one of them. And it compiles, so now I've got what I was doing, so I just run this then. Okay, okay, now this is being printed. Yeah. The print pointer is not really printing a character pointer the way I would usually expect it to do that. That's a lot of weird characters. The add I understand, like this tells me that it is actually a pointer. And the hashtag, not so much. I have no idea what it's trying to do here. Oh. Yeah, no, it's exactly what I asked for. It just looks weird. The hashtag is the string. So it says, actually there should be quotes around the hashtag. But it's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can get quotes around it. Probably. I could just wrap it inside. Oh, definitely I can. Yeah. That's going to be fun. I have something that is called quoted string. So if we actually have that, then we can use it. So I want to print a pointer which might be null. And if it is not null, then it turns out to be a character const pointer, and I want to print that one as a quoted string. So yeah, maybe if I just type quoted string, no, damn it. I'm sure I have some. I know I have it. There is a quoted something. Quoted. It's not my code, I think. No. It's not here. Okay, what about quoted with the upper Q? uppercase, debug ostream, yeah, there it is. So we can print a quoted string, but that is a struct. How does that work? A quoted string, inline quoted string, prints a null pointer if string equals null pointer, otherwise puts double quotes around the string. So I should use print string. We just don't get to see the pointer anymore then, the value of the pointer. I guess that's good enough. And this is a part of CWDS. So the namespace should be included in the dout. Gotta make sense, right? Now you see it. Print string, fix string. Ta-da! I should have known that in advance. Should have realized it. And no, I did not include debug in dout, like I just said. I said it, but it's not true. It is true in way arc, but no, not here. Defined. Now we see what it's doing. We are passing the string hashtag. And then it says we've skipped this. Oh yeah, relative to, I mean, what follows. I mean, I'm passing the offset at the name of the defined macro. So this says defined space and then the name of the macro. So that's why it ends here, this string. But the only reason we passed that string is because we need this string to find the hashtag. And then it says two spaces, that is these two spaces, and then we get an cxx comment, which is of course this thing, including the new line, which is actually added there. This is not going good, is it? Entering gap, yeah, I think it, I don't know. No, okay, yeah. It says skipped and the hashtag is not gobbled up. So we're looking for define, and then before the define there's only spaces and C comments allowed, not a hashtag. So the problem here is that the hashtag is still here, that we did not jump over that. So why did we not jump over that? Because it was never added. Adding token that. There's no adding hashtag. I suppose that has to be done by whoever is calling this function. That's the one that has to add the hashtag. And this is called by that function. Well, that's the one that has to do it. So, okay, we call here hashtag. Oh, okay, so that is the problem. we find the hash, and then I try to find the define without first gobbling up the hash. You have to do that immediately. This should work. Yep. Okay, so now we were here, and then we indeed add the hash. And then we are not adding the E, which is interesting. So that must be +2 then instead of +1. It's kind of weird. So now we start at 115 instead of 114, which means that the text is defined, and we are logging for define, so we find it immediately. And we should be returning, and I'm not printing what it returns. It should be returning 115. Actually, this should never have run like this, because I don't have a finish yet. So my conditional continued is not working. Ouch. It compiles, but it's not working. Ugh. Don't tell me that. No, of course not. This is the higher precedence. It should first do this, and then that. Why the hell is that not working? Let's put a breakpoint here. 6.9. Did we? Does this work? Break. Run. No. Well, let's do this one. Step. It's doing operator OR first. Hè? Possible. I mean, OR with what? Let's just make sure that we just do this first. Because I don't see it. Yep. It's behaving exactly as if that condition is false, even though it clearly is not in this case. So we're not getting that. Yeah. And the E anyway, the E is not gobbled up here, so it's still having the E here and having problems with that. But why? But oh yeah, list break run condition 1 fix string. Fuck. Yeah, well, no. No. That would never have worked, obviously. And now going to tell me that this is what? Okay, so it returns 0. Yeah, okay. That explains a few things. But a continued CF can never be 0, obviously. Return 0. What the hell? It has its own type. Oh, it has its own type. Oh. So that was indeed the push of a completely broken thing. I should have looked at the type. The type is continued, yeah, it's value 0. That is problematic. That is problematic. Can hardly return 0 because the type is what is doing it. The value doesn't even matter. Yeah, the rest should work because those are control flag type. So I'm using this type for overloading purposes. So somewhere it's being overloaded. Can we do something with this? Anything? Grab sources. Oh, it is only, well, two of them. This one and that one. And this is the definition. So this is the declaration. This actually does one. So if you have a channel set structure type, I wrote this 25 years ago. Or with a continued thing, then this thing is being called. And if we want to make that conditional, the whole type is changed. From that moment on, it goes from a channel set to a continued channel set. Yeah, I'm gonna give up here. It's just not possible. Well, not easy. I do not want to get lost in working on libcwd. So it really does not make any sense. Why is this so slow? Very strange. Okay, all this will not use continuation, I think. Let's just print the result the moment we leave the function. Okay, I like this one. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Oh, it was just an upvote. Oh, I was laughing because. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I was completely mistaken. This is a whole different thing. There was another question about someone who wrote their first C++ application, which calculated the primes by simply trying to divide them. By, you know, try to divide by 2, try to divide by 3, try to divide by 4. And then they asked on Reddit, does anyone see a way how I can improve this? So I posted a link to my GitHub repository with, I bet, world's fastest prime generator. Till 1 trillion. And I got this photo up and I saw a big leap. So I had to laugh. If you see the complexity of my fast primes generator, and then you would understand. And it wasn't, I wasn't really trying to help this newbie, of course. I was just like, dude, you're reinventing the wheel. This has been done. I was actually trying to motivate this guy to continue with this prime generator. Anyway, that's why I had to laugh, and it was completely wrong. Never mind. Return. Yeah, I was going to print stuff here. And, yeah, apparently, oh, this one is correct actually. Okay, do we understand why this has to be +2? I don't. I have no idea why this has to be +2. yeah. Call back from the preprocessor for a definition of the macro. Adding token. Let's highlight that. See comment space the include file. 2 spaces. That was an include. New line or an empty line. Hashtag. Yeah, the hashtag is immediately after the new line. Define space declare. Now we gobbled up the hashtag define. Yay, that took 3 hours. And the next step is to gobble up the macro arguments and the definition of the macro. I don't have to get the feeling that the llvm is helping a lot here. Still have to do all the work. Yeah, I suppose you just have to treat this more or less the same as an argument list of a function. At the very least, all of this is inside parentheses. And then we need to know which comma separates arguments. Although I don't think that in this case the arguments can contain a comma themselves, because they have to be identifiers for a macro. So this is just going to be a comma separated list of identifiers, possibly a dot dot dot. That's it. Yeah, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat. So for my little test file, we now get till here, I think. Yeah. This part should not be that hard. I mean, the definition of a macro is of course a lot of work. I bet the rest I might finish till the end. You could test it by just removing the macro. See what happens. Standard. So once you get past this macro here, that is the declare. You get an int, int space full parenthesis open parenthesis closes new line brace, new line struct, space foo. Yeah, the foo space, brace open, brace close, semicolon, new line space. So the usage is, it doesn't like the usage, of course. The declare here is not it's not telling us that that this is not an identifier. So that way we do know that it is a macro. We're going to detect it as a macro usage. At least that's an added information as a result of using llvm then. So if I make this a comment, then it definitely should finish, right? No, yeah. Yep. And that would be the end. This can be removed because I'm not even having that vector anymore. How does it even have PP events here? I'm not passing it to anything. I used to pass that somewhere, but no longer. The first rule of is you should never talk about PP events. So zip. It's a very private stuff. PP events, pretty private. Yeah, and don't talk about it. Make. No, I'm just going to eat. I'll be back later.